Hi everyone, and welcome. This is June, and welcome to the video tour of the HTC Wildfire S. The first thing I want to point out is this phone really pleasantly surprised me. For a tech guy, I consider myself a tech guy who really likes technology, plays with technology, if it's games or computers or phones, or it doesn't matter if it's the best or the worst or whatever. I just really have fascination with technology. So when I look at the HTC Wildfire S, I mean, even though I had this fascination, I'm not expecting it to be fast, amazing, sharp, or whatever you want to call, or whatever you want to think of it. But actually, I was pleasantly surprised. So let's get into the details. Okay, first of all, the physical. When you hold this in your hand, you'll notice it's really small. It's got some good weight. I mean, for a small phone, it's got plastic. You feel the weight. I mean, there's some materials in there that are causing this weight, and it's actually kind of nice. You don't want it to be too light because it's already really small, but at least with the weight you feel like, okay, I'm holding something and it's good. And so the physical, let's look at the physical appearances. You got the 4 capacitive buttons down here. You have the earpiece above the HTC logo. On the right side of the HTC logo is the proximity sensors and the light sensor. Okay, it's a 3.2-inch TFT LCD display. It's capacitive, so you can do the multi-touch features. The resolution is 320 by 480. And top has a lock button, and you have the 3.5mm headset jack. You got the rockers on the left side, and you have the micro USB cable on the left side also. Nothing on the right side. And the bottom, you got 2 holes. One of them is for noise cancellation, one of them is obviously for the mouthpiece. Okay, on the back, you have the HTC logo again, speaker, 5-megapixel camera, and you have the flash. And actually the camera takes pretty decent pictures. And you'll see on the, zoom in there actually, but down here it says with HTC Sense. As all HTC phones so far with Android have the Sense UI over the Android OS. Okay, so in general, this is the HTC Wildfire S. It has a Qualcomm single-core 600 MHz Snapdragon processor. It comes with a 512 megabytes of memory. It has 512 megabytes of RAM. And actually, for a 600 megahertz processor, it's not bad at all. It's kind of fast. Okay, inside the battery, there's a 1230 milliamp per hour battery. Okay, and actually you may say that it's kind of small for today's standards, or maybe it's okay for a small phone, but actually for 2 days you'll have a good amount of battery. Maybe not for a full 2 days, but at least more than a day. It will last you through the day. When you switch on the phone, you'll be welcomed to the lock screen. Gesture down, like swipe down, and you unlock it to the main home screen. You can see the clouds moving, has this cool eye candy effect. And for a 600 megahertz Qualcomm single core processor, you'll notice that it's pretty zippy. I mean, it moves pretty good. I mean, you're not gonna be like, oh, it's too slow, or man, I wish it was faster. None of that stuff. So here we got Android OS 2.3. You can just go into the settings real quick and see what's inside. About phone, let's see, software information. Okay, it's got Android OS 2.3.3 and HTC Sense 2.1. Okay, so here's the home screen, and the sound quality is pretty good. The speaker is pretty good. Some people, I think, complained on some reviews on other sites I saw, and they complained the speaker was too low, but actually it's pretty loud. I don't know if it's different, depends on what phone you have, or I don't know if there's any differences, but this one is pretty loud. I mean, I had the music in the car, and I can still hear the speakerphone playing some loud music. The speakers on the back playing loud music. And the camera takes pretty decent pictures, so if you're worried about the camera not being too good, or it's only 5 megapixels, you know what, it's not going to be professional, high quality pictures, but for the quality, it still does its job. I mean, it's not poor, it's pretty good. I would say above average for a 5 megapixel camera. You have 3 buttons down here. I mean, the one thing I don't like is you have these capacitive touch buttons down here, the Android buttons. But then you also have these buttons right above it that has to do with the phone. So if you hit menu, sometimes I see myself hitting the home button instead of the menu. And that really kind of bugs me. And then we have the phone right there, and then you get the phone and telephone numbers and so forth. And you got the customization. See what happened there? So I tried to press the customization button and hit the search button. So let me try to do it properly this time. There we go, and you get the customization screen. You can change the wallpapers, you can change the scene. Basically these are themes. I don't know why they call them scene, but they are themes. And actually I like the customization that HTC brings with their custom UI. It's really nice. And this touchscreen, everything moves so smooth. I mean, you're not gonna really feel, oh, there's lag, and not at all. So don't worry about the lag if this is what's stopping you. I would definitely recommend this phone for people with smaller hands, or just not, if you have large hands, you will have some trouble touching stuff, such as these buttons down here which get in the way. Web browsing, it has 3G. This is actually a quad band phone, so if you have it unlocked, you can go to other countries, use the phone. I know someone who's going to go overseas soon, and we had this phone unlocked. We asked T-Mobile, can you unlock this phone? And actually they gave us a code, so that worked out really good. And 3G is not that bad, and it's pretty good. And if you go to up here, there's the notification tab. You have whatever software you used recently, and you have quick settings down here tab, which will give you Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and so forth. The thing is, if you have larger hands, I say, is when you use a keyboard, the buttons get really small. I mean, look at my finger size and look at those button size. I could take up 3 buttons with just one finger. This is my index finger. But if you do landscape mode, actually it's not as bad, but still you're gonna have some trouble. I mean, if you're using thumb, you will have some issues. So if you have smaller hands, or if you know, I don't like to say guy-girl thing, but if you're a lady and you like small cell phones and you're into just having something more for you, not just what's out there for the public or what people or everyone gets, this is actually a really good contender to all the other phones out there, all the other smartphones. So the person I know who got this phone is a lady, and she likes this phone. Actually, it suits that kind of person. We have smaller hands. You know, it's gentle looking phone. I don't know what to call it, but you can enjoy this phone. I mean, it's not bad at all. Even I catch myself just amazed that this phone is really smooth, really fast. Colors are really nice. I mean, look at the color right there. I mean, the camera won't really portray this realistically, but still, it's a really great colors. It looks really nice, and HTC did a good job. And this is a small phone, and it's meant to be a small phone for people who want to use a phone that's small and just handles well, and you can use it as a smartphone. And you have the Gmail app. I mean, it comes with some apps already pre-installed. You can see here it has my account from T-Mobile, tells you more about your stuff. Peep, I guess that's for Twitter. I guess Google Map was part of it too. And it's not that many, but, well, there is quite a bit actually. But you can also install, uninstall stuff you don't need, well, most of it. But it's a very good phone. Most of the software handles well, and we can check out one quick program. I know a lot of people like to play Angry Birds. One concern was that this phone may not be able to handle Angry Birds that well, but we can give it a try. It does take a bit of time to load. Actually, it's pretty smooth. For 600 megahertz processor, it's not bad at all. Wait, was that what I was supposed to do? Okay, I did a pretty good job. Hey, it worked out. This phone is not that bad, actually. It plays Angry Birds pretty well. Didn't really have a chance to try this Angry Birds thing out, but worked out pretty good. Okay, that was a quick tour of the HTC Wildfire S. It's a great phone. I would definitely recommend it for persons who have smaller hands, who are casual phone users, who are not looking for the highest, best technology out there. Someone who just enjoys what's out there and just can enjoy a budget phone. And it's not a cheap phone by any means, even though the price isn't that expensive compared to the Galaxy S2 or the iPhone or something out there. For the size and the quality, it's really good. I mean, it's really zippy. You're not going to notice lag as much as I thought I would for a 600 megahertz processor, but it holds its own. The only two main issues I can think of is the 512 megabits of memory might be a little small. So if you have a lot of software you want to install, and you have 7 home screens, pages, then it might be a little small. So if you have an SD card, it does come with a 2 gigabyte SD card, but if you want to, you can upgrade that to a bigger one and just go out and buy a bigger SD card, maybe 16 or even 8 gigabytes is fine, and just transfer some of those apps to the SD card so you free up some space. It has 3G. It's not a 4G phone. It takes really good pictures. The screen's really good. It's clear, it's sharp, and for this size screen, it does its job. I mean, it does a really great job in everything it needs to do. Games run great. We saw Angry Birds, and it's a good phone in general. So the other gripe, obviously, besides the 512 megabytes of memory, was just this layout here. All the buttons are too close, and the buttons are too small. So for me, it's really difficult to use, but the experience is pleasant. It's very pleasant, and I enjoyed using this phone and playing around with it and just reviewing it for myself. So if you're looking for a phone, small phone, casual, and just to enjoy having a smartphone, this could be the phone for you. So highly recommended. So definitely take a look if you're looking for that kind of phone. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, please comment on the video section. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.